What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Good Vibes with Garrett. My name's Garrett, and today we're going to be doing some more hobbying for you, putting together some more minis. So previously, I had cleaned up some minis, and then I put them together off camera and then painted them on other episodes. But I realized, I never really put any together on camera for you guys. And they're not always as simple as those ones that I cleaned up and cut out before. So this one's a little more complicated. We'll see if we even finish it because it's hard to do things and talk at the same time, surprisingly. I thought I was a multitasker until I started doing this show. And now it's like, it's hard to talk and do things on camera. Not much happens in 10 minutes. Heck, not much happens in almost 20 minutes, like last week's episode. So, so without further ado, this is what we're working on. Got all the pieces cut out here and cleaned up already. So I cut them all out. I took my handy dandy X-Acto knife and cleaned up all the edges and stuff like that. And all we're going to be using is some plastic cement. I have Tamiya extra thin cement here. This is my favorite. I've used a few other ones, and they're either too thick or goopy, or just the applicator is really hard to get in those hard to reach spots. Like maybe it's more like a super glue bottle. It has like a little point on it. What's nice about this, it has a little brush which can get literally everywhere. And it's just a little more easy to use, and like I said, like it's nice and thin consistency, so it gets in all little grooves that you need to. But all right, so this week while I'm putting this together, I figured I'd kind of chat a little bit about how I got back into Warhammer. So I talked on the very first episode about how I got into Warhammer initially, but how did I get back into it? Because I fell off back in about when we moved to Papua New Guinea in 2010. Because I think if I remember correctly, we left it here. We did not take it with us because everything in Papua New Guinea molds or gets mildewy or gross. And so I didn't want to risk it. So I ended up leaving it in the States packed up. It's one of those things where when I finally came back in 2011 after I graduated, I grabbed it, and I remember even like taking it with me. I almost spilled the glue right there on camera. That would have been horrible. Oh man, that was scary. I took it with me when I moved to Wisconsin with every intention to continue the hobby and paint those minis and play with them. And because I had a decent sized collection, it wasn't huge, but I had a couple starter boxes, which nice is every time they come out with a new edition, they always come out with like new little starter boxes that has a bunch of minis in there to kind of help you get your collection going, and it has a rule book, and it's really nice. So there's rumors going on right now that there might be a new edition starting, so I'll hint there if you're thinking about getting into Warhammer, your time might be coming soon, because there'll be a new box coming out with some new armies, I'm sure. And good time to jump in. But anyway, so the year is 2011. I'm back after I graduated from high school, and I am not painting or playing Warhammer. I'm very much not really touching it at all, which is kind of a bummer. Fast forward, 2011 to like 2019, 2020. I don't remember the exact year, actually. I want to say it's 2019 is when it happened. I had not touched my Warhammer stuff at all. And in fact, in 2015, sorry, I'm having a hard time with this arm here. There we go. 2015, when we moved from Wisconsin to California, my Warhammer stuff was lost. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the previous episode where we talked about how I got into Warhammer. But yeah, my collection that I had is no more. There was unfortunate circumstances which led to the collection just completely disappearing. No idea where it is to this day. And I had just kind of given up. I'm like, you know what? I put a lot of time and money in the other set. And yeah, we had a lot of good memories, me and my brother, but you know, what's done is done. We'll move on. Well, yeah, like I said, it's 2018 now, maybe 2019, if I can't remember exactly. And it's Christmas, I think. Again, I'm having a hard time remembering because, yeah, it's all kind of a blur. That time in our life was a little bit crazy, a little bit of a blur. To be completely honest, that's not the only thing I'm sure I've forgotten from those few years, because kind of crazy. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was Christmas, or my birthday and Christmas, and they're close to each other anyways. I got this package in the mail from my brother, and I opened it up. I'm like, what in the world is this? Like, what could he be sending me? Because we never really did like gifts necessarily back and forth. Not that we, yeah, I don't know. We just didn't necessarily do that. Or if they did, it was like smaller things. This was a big box. I was like, what the heck is this? Well, I cracked that bad boy open. And, you know, now I remember, and I think it was my birthday, it was not Christmas, but pop that bad boy open, and what do you know? It is the starter box for Warhammer 40K from, let's see, we're currently in 9th edition. I think that was 8th edition. It was just the previous edition before the one we're in now. Oh shoot, this does not want to glue in place. It's got to hold it there, I guess, a little bit longer. Yeah, so 8th edition. Starter set called Dark Imperium, and it had Space Marines and Death Guard, I think they were called, which is basically a Chaos Army, they call it. Basically, there's different armies on the Chaos, which is generally thought of as the bad guy side, you know. Really, everyone's the bad guys in 40K, to be completely honest, but they are on the Chaos armies they worship. There's like the 4 demon gods. So these ones, the Death Guard, are part of the Nurgle army, so god of death and decay and stuff like that. Yeah, so he'd sent me this box. I had some awesome Space Marines in there, which was my army mainly, and then yeah, this army of with the Nurgle Death Guard in there. So it was such an awesome gift, because again, it had been years at this point since I lost my Warhammer stuff, and it was a bummer, but you know, at this point I was like, I've kind of moved on. I'm fine. It's all right. Just some toys. Like I'll live, you know, begrudgingly just kind of move on. Like, yep, all right. That's kind of the end of that. But when I got that box, like, oh man, I had no idea it would like reignite this kind of passion for Warhammer that I had for a long time. And yeah, I remember popping that thing open, and it was so much fun, like putting those models together. I'll be completely honest, and anyone else who's into Warhammer or miniature painting probably knows exactly what I'm about to say, but to this day, in the year 2023, I still have not finished painting those miniatures. So don't think I immediately went and like finished them all. No, because if I did, then I wouldn't be a real Warhammer fan. No, it's kind of a joke in the hobby that everyone likes to buy new miniatures and put them together and maybe even play some games at home with them, but no one wants to take the time to paint up their huge armies, because it's a lot of work. And I do enjoy it, and I do my best to put them together and paint them and make them nice and neat, but I will be honest, it's not always necessarily a priority to paint my old things before I go out and get new things. But in any case, yeah, I had this awesome army, and it's been so much fun to I did play a couple games with them with some friends in Modesto, and be able to even like I said, like put them together and paint them, and it really was a new era for my Warhammer love, because it was one of those things where like, oh, it's gone, done forever, like it was a bummer, but there it goes. And then to get that package, it was like, oh man, like no, I do like Warhammer. Like I got sucked back in immediately, which probably to probably not Trudy's favorite favorite thing, but although she probably appreciates that more than video games, to be completely honest. But yeah, so that's how I got back into it, and a lot of you guys who have even who listen to the show and follow me on social media, maybe even saw my post from recently this year, Christmas of 2022, where my brother went above and beyond. He got me another incredible Warhammer gift, and again, it's on my social media, so you can go read about it, but if you haven't heard it, maybe it's something I tell down the road as well here on a Good Vibes with Garrett. But yeah, I don't know, is this a cool thing? It's one of those things where again, I mentioned this before, but I love that I have this hobby that is a way for me and my brother to connect and bond with, because growing up, we didn't necessarily not get along, but we also just were very different personalities. And so, yeah, a lot of times we just kind of did our own things. We weren't necessarily like always doing stuff together. Like, again, we didn't not get along, but we also like weren't like super tight. And so it's been really neat as like grown-ups now, as adults, to like have this thing that keeps bringing us back together even after years of falling out of it. It's like, nope, I'm right back in it. And and again, like he lives further away. He is in the military, but there's actually ways for us to, like, we've been playing Warhammer like online on our computers, like over the internet together, and like the board game version, not even like a video game version, so it's like, okay, we can still enjoy this hobby that we're pardon me, I'm having a hard time with this holster. There's no slot for this, so I just gotta like slap it on there and hope for the best. But it's been a neat hobby for us to just continually, like over the years, keep rekindling that friendship and finding, using that as a way to stay connected, and just really special. So appreciative of Warhammer and just for my brother being willing to keep dragging me back in over and over and over again. I love it. As I fall away, he's like, nope, you're in this, you're stuck. if I'm here, you're here. And I love it, because that's the thing, like, I get distracted easily. That's one thing my wife would agree with, is I get distracted really easily with a bunch of different hobbies. I'm like, ooh, shiny, ooh, what's this cool new thing? And sometimes it's nice to have a little refocus. Like I said, my brother just being like, oh, hey, remember this cool thing? I'm still over here doing this cool thing. Come hang out. So, yeah. I guess that's kind of it. The story of kind of how I got back into it is just really my brother just continually dragging me back in, not letting me go. Like I said, I'm appreciative of it and thankful for it. This thing is a little trickier than I thought it would be. I'm almost done with it here. I was hoping to have it finished up. So let's see. I'm finding it's actually harder than I thought to put this together. Again, while I'm talking and doing things. There's like a little tab this needs to go in underneath here. So I don't think it's gonna work. So, there we go. There we go. So yeah, I guess one thing I'd be interested in is, if you guys don't mind, like down in the comments or something, like if you have any hobbies or interest, or like just things that in your own life that, you know, has been something that's brought you and someone else together. Like maybe it's doesn't have to be Warhammer. I mean, it'd be cool if it was, but yeah, if there's like some hobby or sport or whatever it might be, video games of some sort, something that like over the years it all keeps coming back, and it's a way for you to connect with a loved one, brother, a sister, your dad, your uncle. Yeah, let me know what it is. I'd love to hear you guys' stories and kind of ways that you've been able to connect with family and some fun hobbies you guys have. Let me know down below. I'd really appreciate that. It'd be fun to read, I think. Go through that. This does not want to go in there. It's funny. It's like fighting me. It's like, no, I will not go in that hole. There we go. Wow. We'll see if that sticks. I have a feeling it will not. All right. Well, I don't have much more to talk about. This thing's pretty much done. You guys are gonna. I can put on these last couple pieces here, hopefully, and hopefully it won't fall apart. But yeah, this has been kind of the assembly process. Actually, you know what I might do? I'm not going to put that on because that's going to be impossible to paint if I ever want to paint it. So this is as far as I'm going to go, actually, because what I'll do is I will paint these separate and then glue them on later. You know what? Sometimes you got to do that with a Mini. So that just be a kind of a warning, a lesson. I don't mean that so ominously. Don't take that as like, wow, you know, I'm threatening you. But as a general tip, sometimes it's better just to leave things apart and then paint it and then put it together later with a little super glue or something like that. Because what I'm realizing is like, ooh, man, it's already going to be kind of tricky to paint this guy. And if I stick this on there, it's going to be really hard to paint that guy. So I'm going to stop right there. And so there's the process. All you need is a little plastic cement, a little plastic glue. To me, extra thin is my favorite. You can make some cool stuff. So, all right. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, you can find us each and every week at Super Gamer Boys. We have a podcast, YouTube channel, youtube.com/supergamerboys. Follow me over on social media at gmorlang. Follow the podcast at Super Gamer Boys. We'd love to see you there, and hope you guys have a good rest of your week.